I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Monday, September 22nd. Today, new details on dozens of lawsuits against Manitoba school divisions and why one of the co-accused is a national First Nations leader. Also today, advocating the advocate.
We're thrilled about the appointment of an independent seniors advocate in Manitoba, but want to ensure that all seniors' voices are heard.
Manitoba senior groups lay down a plan for a new advocacy office. Plus, walking into fall.
We will be walking through the community, smudging, singing, drumming.
Winnipeggers walk to celebrate the fall equinox. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. New details today regarding a rash of lawsuits filed against a number of Manitoba school divisions. CTV News first told you of the 27 civil cases filed in recent months, alleging sexual and physical assault by a number of teachers, principals, and other division staff. And now we can report a former Assembly of First Nations national chief is named as a co-defendant in one of the cases. Standing by with the details for us is CTV's Catherine Dow. Catherine, what can you tell us?
So, Marilee, one of the suits, which is filed against the Saging First Nation Education Authority, also names Phil Fontaine as a co-defendant. Now, Fontaine served as national chief of the Assembly of First Nations 3 times between 1997 and 2009. The suit, filed in May in the Court of King's Bench, alleges Fontaine sexually assaulted a high school student around 1970. Fontaine would have been in his late 20s at the time. According to the statement of claim, Fontaine was granted a position of power by the Education Authority. In this capacity, the suit alleges Fontaine arranged and led a field trip where he sexually assaulted the victim. The claim says Fontaine used his position of authority and trust to prey upon the victim, then exhibited a pattern of behavior to make her feel unsafe to report any wrongdoings. And now, as a result, the victim says she dropped out of school and suffered PTSD, physical pain, mental anguish, addiction, and more. The suit alleges the Education Authority was negligent and failed in its duty of care to the former student. The suit seeks general, punitive, and special damages, payment for past and current medical services, as well as costs. Now, we have reached out to Fontaine multiple times for comment. We have not yet heard back by a given deadline. Also important to note, the Education Authority has filed a statement of defense calling for the claim to be dismissed, citing the alleged perpetrator was not an employee during the incident. A reminder, none of these allegations have been tested in court.
Catherine, as you mentioned, this is a civil case. Do we know if there have been any criminal charges filed?
So we did reach out to RCMP to ask them this. Mounties say they do not have an investigation related to these allegations.
All right, thanks for this, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Meanwhile, sex assault charges against the chief of a Manitoba First Nation have been stayed. Earlier this month, Crown prosecutors in Saskatchewan entered a stay of proceedings against Donald Smoke after determining there was no reasonable likelihood of conviction. Smoke, the acting chief of Dakota Plains First Nation, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of sexual assault in February. Saskatchewan RCMP said at the time the incidents were alleged to have taken place in Kindersley, Saskatchewan in February of 2024. The matter was set to proceed to a jury trial in Saskatoon before Crown prosecutors decided not to proceed. Smoke's lawyer told CTV News the allegation was, quote, meritless, malicious, and false. 2 elderly Winnipeggers are in hospital tonight recovering from a brutal assault by a stranger Saturday. It happened early in the evening in the 300 block of Elgin Avenue. Police were already en route to the scene after reports of a man running into traffic. Before they arrived, police say the suspect pushed an 80-year-old woman to the ground and then punched the 85-year-old man she was with in the face when he tried to intervene. The suspect allegedly continued to punch and stop the pair after they were on the ground. Police arrived minutes later and took a 28-year-old man into custody. In addition to assault and resisting arrest charges, he was also wanted on a warrant for suspension of parole. Both victims were taken to hospital, one in stable condition, the other in unstable condition with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Listen to the people who deal directly with Manitoba seniors. That is the message today from a coalition of seniors groups to the province's new Seniors Advocate Office.
We're thrilled about the appointment of an independent seniors advocate in Manitoba, but want to ensure that all seniors' voices are heard.
The coalition held a joint news conference today. It says the advocate office is long overdue, but the office must meet the needs of Manitoba seniors. Slated to open November 1st, the Seniors Advocate Office will advise the provincial government about policies and programs related to seniors, home care, and health care. The coalition says the office needs to listen to the groups caring for seniors on the ground.
We have done a lot of work in the past years to identify the needs of seniors, the wants of seniors, and how best to provide some of the services based on what they're telling us.
The coalition wants the creation of an advisory board to ensure the office makes decisions based on data. For example, a study by the British Columbia Seniors Advocate found disparities between nonprofit and for-profit long-term facilities. The BC Advocate is presenting its findings here in Manitoba in October. Main Street Project is showing off its newly renovated housing facility. The Homeless Shelter and Health Center is giving its home on Martha Street a total makeover. It's phase one of an $18 million project, which will also expand the facility. Today, we got a look inside its newly renovated rooms and brand new common area. The project's executive director says it provides privacy and dignity to those transitioning from homelessness and addiction.
Having a really great common area like this where people can watch TV, go on computers, a really great dining area that'll be set up over there, a kitchen to do cooking classes and baking in, like really gives people a lot to really enhance their lives and also make big changes in their lives, and we want to help them be a part of that change.
The project is continuing to provide support while the renovations take place. A majority of funding came from the federal government through energy retrofit grants. The building will be 45% more energy efficient. The renovation is expected to be fully complete in about 15 months. North End residents celebrated the first day of fall with a community walk. Indigenous Vision for the North End held a Smudge the North End community walk this morning. There was drumming, smudging, and singing as the walkers made their way from North Point Douglas Women's Centre to Wynne Gardner Place on McGregor, where there was a free lunch. The event was held to honor the fall equinox, a time of balance, gratitude, and renewal.
I think it's very welcomed by the community. It's also a great opportunity, for folks who are not necessarily able to participate in ceremony to have ceremony come to them, and just to gather as a community in celebration and healing.
This is the fourth year for the North End Smudge Walk.
It's beautiful. It's fall. The leaves are turning. The weather's perfect.
I love going to the cabin and doing my side-by-side rides through the trail, seeing the colors of the leaves change and watching the leaves fall. And of course, I love the fact that it's cooler. And as you can see, I love my bike rides at the park here.
And the fall equinox means the nights will start to be longer than the days. The autumnal equinox marks the start of fall for the northern hemisphere and the spring in the southern hemisphere. On the equator, the sun was directly overhead today at noon local time. Here in the north, sunlight will gradually diminish each day until the winter solstice, which happens December 21st. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at our very first fall Skywatch forecast. Not a bad first day of fall today, Colleen.
Listen, the equinox, first of all, for folks who keep track of this, happened at 1:19 p.m. Central Time, so that's when we flipped over officially to the fall season. But you wouldn't know it by the temperatures outside. We got up to 26 degrees here in Winnipeg today, and for perspective, the normal high for this time of year is just 16, and we weren't alone. It was very warm all across Manitoba and into northwestern Ontario as well. We'll take a look at that and just how long this warm stretch is going to last heading into the next few days, the first week of the fall season. It's going to be quite nice. Let's take a look right now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now under a mix of sun and cloud. It's 26 degrees with the humidex. It feels like 29. Light winds out of the south-southeast. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 50%. Out in traffic on this Monday afternoon, traffic moving well on the St. James Bridge. Not so well, though, at Burroughs and Salter. At last word, there was a collision there that closed all northbound lanes, and folks were being rerouted east or west onto Burroughs.
plants themselves will visually give you that life feeling in your space.
Tips for bringing some of your outdoor plants indoors. Get Growing is coming up after the break.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Winnipeg, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Taking a look at the markets now, crude oil dropped 12 cents. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.38 cents U.S. Gold jumped $69. The TSX added 190 points. The Dow Jones gained 66 points, while the Nasdaq rose 157 points.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
If you're looking to brighten up your office, why not adding some green? Carla's joining me once again for Get Growing. What are the best ways to do this, Carla?
Well, we're looking at it, and being in the fall, we have a lot, well, maybe some people have some plants that are outdoors that they're going to be bringing indoors. So a little bit of a measure on a tip for that is to make sure that you blast it off with the water before it gets very, very cold, and clean it up. You may want to do a little bit of a spray on top of it, just so that you eliminate any maybe bugs or something that may be on that. But the part is, fall is the time too where we've enjoyed all those plants outside. So if you don't have the plants that you're bringing in, you may want to venture in to looking at some greenery, because we know that plants themselves will visually give you that life feeling in your space. And there are dynamics that are in there that, believe it or not, they're motivators. And we love to motivate you with our greenery, our
That's why this segment's going so well. I'm surrounded by plants.
But they do.
Yeah.
They motivate
they do.
you. And actually, there's a little bit of studies that the motivation actually increases activity in office spaces. And a lot of plants are actually oxygenators, which help you with good air exchange. So why not green up your space? It's like creating this oasis, whether you want it in your home or your office. Now, when you're looking at selections of your tropicals, you sort of have to give yourself the idea of, what does my space look like? Is it super bright? Like right now, we're in an area where we have high bright light for succulents and cactus. But what you want to do is, if it's a lower light levels or if there's a brighter, then when you're visiting the garden centers, you're able to see which direction or which plants are going to be most successful for you. Do you want something that's sort of cascading down, or if you're following some areas on Pinterest where you pin up the vines on the wall to give that wall effect that's on there. So there's so many different applications, and even just looking at some of the succulents, who would think that you have this bluey pink hue that's something beautiful, and pair it up with a nice beautiful pot? I would probably pick a bright blue pot to put that in. So that might look at. So combinations of plants and where you can put them really works out.
Oh, you're making me go, huh?
Find that space and make sure that you make it green. Make it come alive.
Anything else you want people to know about this?
You know what? Plants are good for you. It's something that you actually think of it as your plant pet. It's something that you can care for, watch it grow. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't love plants. So, yeah, come on down, check it out.
Get Growing, brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden, thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals.
You have a favorite player?
Yeah. Hellebuck.
How come?
Because he's really good at keeping the puck out of his net.
He sure is. Fans young and old come out to get their first look at some of their favorite Jets players. That and other weekend events to update you on next in the Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Elton Ron Tribute.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and we're kicking things off today with some powerful plays written by Indigenous playwrights.
And you can experience these works merrily for free. Mateo and Creator Circle is back for its 5th annual festival all this week. Playwrights have been working on their scripts for several months, and from now until Sunday, you can attend free table reads every evening. Program director Ian Ross says the stories range from comedy to horror, and the writers themselves have all varying levels of experience.
And so there are also people that don't have a lot of experience, but they have a story to tell. And that's also the importance of this, is that it's helping people get that foot in the door, because, you know, many years ago in the 90s when I started out, like, it was really hard. It was quite a struggle.
Readings happen each evening at 7 over at the Tom Hendry Warehouse, aside from Saturday, which takes place at 2:30 p.m. The event is free, and merrily, you won't even need a ticket.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Thousands came out to cheer on their favorite professional hockey players this weekend.
Did they ever? FanFest is the official kickoff to the Winnipeg Jets and Manitoba Moose season. More than 5,000 fans packed the Hockey for All Center for FanFest. The free event featured open training camp sessions, Q&As with players, coaches, alumni autographs, and discounted merchandise. One fan we spoke with shared this heartfelt message to the team.
I say just keep playing as hard as you've been playing. You have this entire city behind you guys, and we love you guys, and that'll never change, no matter the outcome.
A great message. In preseason action Sunday, the Jets lost to the Minnesota Wild.
Well, despite the soggy conditions, it was still a pretty successful weekend for St. Amant's Centre.
Hundreds braved the rain and turned out for the annual Free the Spirit Festival on Saturday. Held at St. Amant's location on River Road, the event featured a 2K walk, a 5K run, live music, food, and other activities. It was all to support the centre, which helps thousands of Manitobans with developmental disabilities, autism, and brain injuries. Organizers say the fundraiser allows them to provide essential services.
The funds that we raise here help people in all kinds of ways. They allow us to go beyond basic and essential services for people to providing a really good quality of life. It makes a difference between being able to provide, you know, a therapeutic service and to have a fun environment for kids to really learn and develop and enjoy themselves.
President and CEO Ben Adaman says he's thankful for everyone who came out. Now, if you missed the party, don't worry, you can still make donations online.
All right. Thanks for this, Colleen.
You're welcome. Settle in for a great night of entertainment starting at 7 with The Voice, and test your knowledge at 9 with The Weakest Link. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look at McPhillips Street there. Sunny, warm, 26 degrees, traffic moving well in both directions. An update, that crash earlier at Burroughs and Salter has now been cleared. Once again, those northbound lanes are back open.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, as warm as it is right now in Winnipeg at 26 degrees, the hot spot in all of Canada right now is Dauphin Airport, 28.5. Nowhere else in Canada is warmer. It's going to be a very warm week all week, maybe not quite that warm. As for Winnipeg, of course, now the summer season has come to an end. There was 1 month of the summer season that easily had more days where we reached above 30 degrees Celsius. But interestingly, the hottest day of the summer was in a different month. I'll tease you with that. I'll have those answers coming up on CTV News at 6. But as for the night ahead, not much is going to change from what you see here. There's a nice upper ridge of high pressure all across Manitoba, starting to the south, going well to the north, leaving clear skies in its wake. So it's been sunny across much of the province today. Next door in Ontario, not quite as much, a little bit of a cloudy start to the afternoon, and it looks like there's just a few minor showers just moving through the region right now, but not much of note. Back here in the south tonight, we will clear out, but there's a good chance we could see some fog develop overnight in Winnipeg and the southeast and up into the Interlake, but watch out for it no matter where you are in Manitoba tonight. That could reduce visibility possibility if you have any overnight driving or more so into the commute on Tuesday morning. Another beautiful day across Manitoba. As you can see, it's just sunny really everywhere, including in northwestern Ontario, and exceptionally warm, unseasonably so for this time of year. Right into Wednesday we go, where the sunshine just keeps on coming for us here in the south. But there's a little bit of weather happening up there in the northwest, some cloud and perhaps a narrow band of rain for some areas. For tonight for Winnipeg, clear again, though there is the possibility of fog patches overnight, a low of 12 degrees. So no concern for your plants at this point. But tomorrow, beautiful, up to 24 degrees again. The normal high for this time of year is just 16 for some perspective. Winds will shift. They'll pick up a little bit late in the afternoon, but really not strong winds tomorrow. They'll shift and come out of the northwest at about this time at about 10 kilometers an hour. The UV index for tomorrow, Tuesday for Winnipeg, is 5 or high. And then take a look at this long-range forecast. Sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud. Beautiful temperatures sailing all the way up to 25 on Wednesday, 19 in the sun on Thursday, back into the 20s Friday, and will stay that way right through the weekend, the first weekend of fall. Our first weather photo on this first day of fall takes us to the area near Balmoral, Manitoba, and a look at that fall look. That photo is from Roxy. And this next one is out at Bel Air. Very calm waters there, says Andrew. Send us your weather photos by email to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. It was a dog's breakfast over at Red River X Park this weekend. The first ever Barkfest celebrated our furry, four-legged family members, and a few pups even got dressed up for the event. There were all kinds of activities for dogs. Oh, there's the dog I was referring to.
So cute.
All kinds of activities for dogs and humans alike. There was the entertainment ring, the zombie zone, and a scratch and sniff barn. Just some of the attractions. Vendors showcased pet clothing and all kinds of pet accessories as well. And one attendee we spoke with told us they were enjoying spoiling their pooch, saying dogs bring us so much happiness.
Happy, happy, happy. You live longer, you smile more often, and I have a very, my husband's not very well. He's been sick for the last 10 years, so it really, helps him along with his day. When I take her out to pet therapy, of course, it helps people with their day.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Organizers say about 5,000 people showed up, and they are already planning for next year. So if you missed it this year, we can get tickets for next year. I am going next year.
I had friends who went. It looks like they had a ball.
Oh, yeah.
So did their dogs.
We'll see you at 6. Don't go far.